Hello and welcome to another episode of the Overcome Yourself podcast. As you know, my name is Nicole and I'm so excited to be here today with Rita. Yay. So Rita, she helps entrepreneurs who are introverts, right, to regain their confidence and come back out, and so they can make more money and enjoy working and enjoy life more, right, overall. So, yay, Rita, welcome. And I would love if you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you and your business.
Oh, you are frozen. Hello. So my story starts when my parents realized that I was an introverted girl. Actually, they were rather saying the word shy and not introvert. And even if they didn't look very disappointed, I felt that they were somehow disappointed that I was shy, and this could have a negative impact on my life, on my relationships, on my career, and so on. So they had concerns about my future life. And well, I had several ups and downs in my life. I think the worst moment was with my ex. We were coming back from an event. It was a dance class. And I was in my previous job, but looking forward to start a business as an influencer. And he told me, you are not able to sell, you are not able to start a business because you are too shy, and you are not jumping on a piece of furniture, or you are not jumping on a stone to say, I have something to sell and to talk about your products. So I felt very disappointed. And then I thought I started to observe a little bit my life. And actually, there were lots of moments when I could become very noisy, when I could talk with a lot of passion. Nobody could stop me talking when I was looking like an extrovert. When I was in groups where I feel good, when I like the topics, and I get back introvert when I don't like the groups or the topics. So I say, let's expand this to my career, to my business, to my relationships. And I think that every introvert can succeed in relationships, in career, in their job, in their business, as long as they do something they are really passionate about. And then they talk and they can't be stopped. You know, if you create a product, an offer with a lot of passion, with all your heart, then it's easy to sell. So there is no reason to fail.
That is
And
awesome.
well, yeah, and this is how I decided to create my website, my workshops, my journeys into the subconscious mind, always thinking about introverts and their obstacles, their fears, wanting to help them overcome their fears.
Yes.
So this is the main purpose of what I'm doing.
That is awesome. And so you overcame, I guess, what you thought was probably your biggest weakness, right? And then you actually ended up using it to your advantage. Do you feel that that sounds correct?
Yes, it's some kind of superpower.
Yes, yes. So I asked that because that's one of the big themes in my book. Is, and I absolutely love it, is taking what you were always told was a weakness. You know, I was always told that I was too talkative. I talked too much, and that I was bossy, you know. And so those were my weaknesses. I'm too bossy. I'm too mean. I'm, you know, whatever. And I talk too much. And that's not true. That's not true at all. I just needed to learn the right things to talk about, right? And find people that wanted to not only listen, but pay to hear me talking, right? It ended up being one of my greatest strengths. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And just like, being told that I was bossy, I wasn't bossy, I was leader. And those, traits, those qualities were coming out of me, and they tried to knock them out because it wasn't, it's not convenient to have a child who's a leader, I guess. um, right. But those were things that I considered weaknesses that for a long time I was told were weaknesses. And so I love how your story mirrors that, and you were told you were introverted and you were shy, and that was a weakness, and you felt that you felt like a disappointment, like an expectation wasn't met with your parents because of this perceived shyness. But it's actually your superpower, because you're just not interested in a lot of things. You're just like focused on what you do like. And when you found it, wow, like you came out of your shell, like you said. And the cool thing about being online is that you don't necessarily have to even put yourself out there, right? You can make videos with like stock images and just like words, and you can have a
Yes.
great business too. So there are a lot of ways to be in business without having, without having to be so extroverted. So I love that. I think it's so important that you show people that there is possibility, right? Because you don't necessarily have to talk to people. When I'm writing copy, I'm not talking to anybody, right? And so yeah, there's a lot of things you can find. So do you have like a tip, of a piece of advice that you give to your clients, a little nugget of wisdom that you could share with our audience?
Usually I tell them to do what they like, what they are passionate about. I remember a few years ago, I wanted to build a blog, being an influencer, to talk about products I wasn't really comfortable about. And I remember I wanted to make a video and post it on YouTube. And I think for 15 minutes video, I spent a whole Saturday.
Yep,
Even my
same.
mother was tired.
Been
And
there,
I
done
was
that.
reading the text on my computer and I was so afraid of everything. And now I'm sometimes filming, making my stories for my new workshops. And when I'm filming, I'm talking about my own stories, and I'm finding a way to tell them in an authentic way with some acting skills. And I'm so passionate about it just flows.
Yes.
I'm not afraid anymore of getting my idea. So I think that as long as you are talking about something you are passionate about, then everything goes well. And
And I think that there's something key that you mentioned here, is when, like, for example, when we learn about affiliate marketing, um, we're like, oh my God, what can I promote? And
yes,
we don't focus on who can we help. We focus on what product can I sell, right? And then that's going to feel uncomfortable, right? Because when you're just trying to sell something for the sake of selling it, and you don't have that that why behind it, you don't have something of value behind it, it can be really tough. And so you kind of were able to switch, and now you are telling your story and you are helping people, and in those things you can provide them the tools, like your workshops or like affiliate links or whatever it is, that it comes out naturally, right? Because it's not like
yes,
you're trying to
comes
sell them
naturally.
something. You're like, hey, you have a problem. This is the solution. It's so obvious. It makes sense. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. So just buy it. And so I think it changes the perspective a little bit. And that's a huge key in marketing. It's not just about pushing, selling. It's how can I demonstrate how this solution that I want to offer has helped me or has helped someone that I know. And that shift just changes everything for you, right? Because now you don't feel like a sleazy salesperson just trying to sell whatever's going to make you the most money.
Yeah,
You are
sometimes
providing
we want to
value.
sell products that we are not comfortable about. We don't feel
Mhm.
comfortable. We didn't create them. So
Yeah.
we may feel comfortable. It depends on the product.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it depends on a lot of factors, absolutely. And that's where the relationship with that product comes in, I think. So that's such a great point. So something that I ask a lot of my other guests is because another huge theme in my book is gratitude. So what role do you think gratitude played in that transformation? Like, do you feel like you learned to be grateful for where you are and use what you have to be able to step into the Rita that you wanted to be, into the business owner that you wanted to be?
I always thought that for a long time, I was thinking that being introvert, it's something bad. It's something shameful that we have to hide, to put the extrovert mask. And I was very unhappy, very frustrated, trying to be somebody else. And everything went wrong. And when I started to be happy with who I am, grateful for my introversion, say, okay, I'm in the right place now. And then I started to feel good.
Yeah.
And to do things naturally.
Yeah. It's all about gratitude and
Yes.
the perspective, right? Just that adjusting that perspective a little bit.
I was born with this personality, then nobody is 100% introvert. I can be very noisy and unstoppable.
Yes.
Stop me if I'm talking too much.
Yeah. Like I remember when we were in school and you have those people, like my brother had this friend who would be considered very shy, right? So like in school he wouldn't talk, but then when he came over and like it was just like it was just now like the core group, oh my god, you couldn't shut them up. They would be in the room yelling and screaming, and then he'd come out and be like, ah, and then but you see it with new people and be like, right? And so there's also something to be said, I think, about being comfortable in your environment, being able to be yourself with the people that you're around, which is key when we're finding our ideal audiences, right? Is finding people who love us for the way that we are, for who we are, who and the way that we do that is telling our stories. So yeah, I absolutely love that. So any last words of wisdom, Rita, that you want to share with the audience?
Create everything, you do everything that you do from your heart, do everything that you like, do it naturally. Don't try to put a mask on your face. If you are an introvert, don't try to put the extrovert mask. Sometimes extroverts want to put other masks. I don't think they try to be introvert, but they try. We always want something that we don't have. Gratitude.
Well, yeah, gratitude. It's kind of like the curly hair, straight hair kind of thing, like when your hair is curly. Yes. So
This is
I know
cool.
that I know that you have a free group for entrepreneurs. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I have a Facebook group. It's called Introvert Business Owners and Professionals.
We'll have a link in the comments in the show notes.
Yes. I will write it in the comment in order to edit.
I'll put it in there, no worries.
Okay.
So tell us about the group. What goes on in there? What do you help us with in there?
There are theme days, which may evolve in time, and I'm also looking forward to to organize some events.
Okay.
When I'm launching workshops, I'm also talking about them, explaining them. Usually they are free the first 48 hours after the live, and then everybody has access to the replay. There are usually everybody posts taking into account the theme days.
Okay, sounds good. And speaking of workshops, you do have a workshop coming up in June, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about your workshop. So why do we want to be there?
It's called Stronger Than the Imposter Syndrome. I think it's something, a topic that concerns a little bit everybody.
Yes.
At least the corporate professionals who start a job after graduating and they never feel they have enough skills, enough experience. So they go from a place of the stressful interviewee, they go to the job interview without too much confidence. And their employers get this energy. Sometimes
Well,
they skip the opportunity, the job. They may have the job, they may get the job and then skip opportunities in their career.
I actually read about this in a book recently, The Confidence Code. And imposter syndrome, a lot of times people talk about it and they're like, well, that's kind of like a beginner thing, but it's really not. There are generals in in the military, in the United States military, who, like, women who are like, oh, I'm lucky that I'm here. And these researchers were like, you're not lucky, like, you earned this. Like, like, do you realize your record? Like, do you see all of these things?
Yes, they have trouble. People have trouble in accepting compliments. They think
Yes.
it's thanks they had good luck or people are nice to them.
Yes, yes. And we don't give ourselves credit for, you know, the dedication, the nights that we put in, the blood, sweat, and tears, you know, the challenges that we took, the things that we won. We're like, no, we're just lucky. Like, no, you're not lucky. Like, look at your track record. And there was so many great, amazing things in that book. The other thing I wanted to mention is that's where a study came out that they discussed where if a man and a woman are looking at like job requirements, if a woman will look at it and she'll know 90% of the things that are required for that job, and she'll be like, oh, I don't know this 10%, so I'm not qualified for this. A man will know 60. He'll be like, okay, 60% of these things, yeah, I kind of know this. 40%, he's like, I can figure it out. And so they will go for the job where the women will be like, oh, I don't know 10% of this stuff, so like I can't even put my name in the ring. And so that's right there is like such a huge like key with imposter syndrome. Like, you have to realize you don't have to know 100% of the things. You still got to put your name in the ring, right? And so I think that's awesome that you're doing an imposter challenge, imposter syndrome challenge. And I will definitely be checking it out with you. I'm in your group, and so I would love to have the audience in there with us as well. That would be amazing. So it'll be on or after June 16th. We're still kind of working out the details, but the details will be available in your group, right? When we have the concrete date.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And okay, so you told us about your group, you told us about your upcoming workshop. Is there anything else that you would like to leave us with, Rita, before we sign off here?
Well, I strongly invite people to participate in this workshop, especially because it's free the first 48 hours. And then I'm explaining, usually in my workshops, I'm explaining a little bit how subconscious mind works. Maybe I will speak more about another technique that I discovered not long time ago. And then I'm giving prompts. There are several steps. In each step, I'm giving a prompt. And then I'm inviting my audience to journal about it.
Very cool.
If they
a one-day workshop? It's one day?
Usually it's 1 hour.
1 hour. Okay.
And then it depends on the participants. If they want, they can share their answers in the chat, or they can share this at the end. Some people don't want to share. So if there are a lot of people, it can take a little longer.
Okay, sounds good.
That's it. The hours are the European hours, but anyways, the replay is accessible lifetime. So
okay, perfect.
You can watch it, and I look forward to put it in the evening for me. So in the US and Australia, it's in the morning, and I'm looking at the time zone all the time.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, well, that all the information, the specific will be inside your group, and I'm sure for those on the email list as well. So we won't miss out. All right, thank you so much, Rita. This has been so much fun. And I guess we will. I'm sorry.
Me too. It was a pleasure.
Good. Yes, this has been awesome. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be talking soon. Make sure to look out for the links to everything that Rita's offering down in the show notes /comments, and we will see you next time.